Hello everyone, today I would like to do some stretches especially designed for cyclists with you. However, you don't have to be a cyclist to join in. This is also perfect if you're new to yoga or if you're looking for a slower practice to stretch and mobilize the whole of your body. If you have knee problems, have some padding handy, I think you can still join in. Alright, we start in all fours for some spine mobilization. So your hands are underneath the shoulders, your knees are underneath the hips and hip distance apart. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Neutralize your spine. Tailbone is long, ribs together. Then start to draw some circles with the hips. Keep them small in one direction. And some small circles in the other direction. Neutral position, cat and cow. On an inhale, raise your hips, drop your belly, lift your chest, look forward. And exhale, start to tuck your tailbone under, round your lower, middle, upper, back and chin to chest last. And again, inhale, you're unfurling, starting with the hips, looking forward. And on your exhale, you tuck your tailbone under, slowly start to round your back and chin to chest. Keep going. Inhaling and arching. Exhaling and rounding. Inhale, arch. And exhale, round. Next inhale, come into a neutral position. Do some circles with the hips again. This time make them a little bit bigger. Keep your shoulders still, they're not moving. It's just the hips that are drawing circles, nice big circles, and then switch direction. Let's do one more. And then come into a neutral position. Tailbone, long ribs together. Bring your weight forward. So maybe you feel a little stretch in your wrist. And then come over towards one side, doesn't matter which. Going back towards your hips. Over to the other side. And forward again. And again. So you're drawing some circles. But your back stays straight. You should feel something in your wrist. And then switch direction next time you're forward. Nice big circles. And let's do one more. Come forward, holding here. Now arch your back again and hold. Look forward. Move your triceps towards each other. Holding here. And then round your back, chin to chest. Press the floor away from you. Hold here. Suck your belly in. And release. Come into a neutral position. Tailbone, long ribs together. And then collapse into your shoulder blades. So you're dropping forward. Sternum drops. And then press the floor away from you. And again, you're collapsing and press the floor away. Do a few more of those. Collapse and press. Collapse and press. Pay some attention to your elbows. If you're hypermobile, unlock them. And then do one more. Press the floor away from you. And you're holding here. Neck is long. Hold here. Then tuck your toes under. Press your hands into the mat. Bring your hips towards your heels. Holding here. Feel the stretch in the soles of your feet, in your toes. Suck your belly in slightly. Keep your neck long. Hold here, and then come forward again. Good. Point your toes, sit on your heels, shake out your wrists. So it's always a lot on the wrist if you're cycling. So we'll stretch the wrist a little bit. So come back into all fours. Now take your right hand, rotate your right hand clockwise as far back as you can. Maybe your fingers can point towards your knees. If that's too much, do your best, yeah? Maybe it's coming to the side, so fingers pointing to the side or almost towards the knee. It's all good. Hold here. And then apply a little bit of pressure here. So you're pressing down. If you're hypermobile, like me, you have your elbow bent. Hold here. And then come forward again with the hand. Other side. So your left hand, you're going anti-clockwise. As far back as you can. Have a bend in the elbow. Hold here. Press the heel of the hand down. Feel the stretch. And then bring your fingers facing forward again. Let's do both hands. So first the right, then the left. Bend your elbows, and then maybe the hips come towards your heels a little bit. Keep your fingers spread, and then come forward again and again. Hips towards your heels. It's a very small movement, and come forward. One more. Feel the stretch here. Goes deep as you feel comfortable, and then come forward. Fingers facing forward now. Okay, shake out your wrists. All right, take your right hand, flip your palm until the palm is facing up and the fingers face towards your knees again. Apply gentle pressure here, holding here. So your elbow is bent again. Hold here. And release, other side. So it feels a bit funny maybe. So fear not, we're not going to do both hands at the same time. We're leaving it at that, and release. Have your toes tucked under. Walk your hands back a little bit and bring your elbows onto the mat. Hold here. So the weight is mostly in your knees, your toes are tucked under. If your little toes are not facing forward, give it a go. Maybe use your hands, bring them facing forward. And then you're staying here. So if you're cycling or doing anything else in your life outside, you're most likely wearing shoes, and quite often we're wearing shoes that are not particularly good for us. And then our toes become crunched up. So this is a nice one to stretch the soles of the feet, to stretch the toes. If this is too easy for you, you walk your hands back and sit on your heels. Whoa. Hold here, you can close your eyes. Right. If you're still on your forearms, you come up now as well. If it's too much to have your feet like this, you point your toes. Interlace your hands, and then you're making some wave with the hands. That reminds me of the 80s, no, of the 90s. I'm not that old. Good. And release. Shake out your wrists, and we come into a downward facing dog. So walk your hands forward, spread your fingers nice and wide, tuck your toes under, and then lift your knees, lift your hips up. Relax your head down, and then take your down dog for a walk. So you're pedaling your feet, maybe raising one foot up, placing it down, and then the other one. So you're walking through your downward facing dog. And then you're stopping and descending your heels down. Hold here. Then raise your heels up nice and high. Raise your hips a little bit higher so your belly comes towards your thighs. And then release the heels down. Your knees are probably still slightly bent. That's fine. You want to feel the stretch in your calves. And again, raise your heels up. Lift your hips as high as you can. Bend your knees, belly towards thighs. Relax your neck. Spread your fingers and then release the heels down. Holding here. And then slowly, slowly lower down your knees onto the mat again. You're in all fours. Take your right foot outside your right hand. So have your toes first pointed back and then take your foot forward. Have the toes turn out slightly. Then slowly we want to start to push the hips forward and down until you feel the stretch in the front of your left leg. Holding here. If the knee shoots over the ankle here a bit, that's fine. Holding here. And then come back into all fours, other side. So left foot outside your left hand. Toes turn out slightly. And then gently push the hips forward and down. Holding here. Hands are here to support you. Feel the stretch in the front of your right leg. and then come back again into all fours. Tuck your toes under, lift your knees up, come back into your downward facing dog. Release the heels down, relax your neck. Spread your fingers. So the crown of the head comes towards the mat. You're not looking between your hands, you're looking towards, let's say, the big toes. Holding here. And then lower down your knees onto the mat again. Point your toes back. Now take your right foot outside your right hand again. If it comes halfway down, just pick it up with the right hand, move it forward. Toes turn out. Now walk your hands forward a little bit and again push your hips forward and down. So this time maybe the foot comes a bit further forward so the knee stays above the ankle. Holding here. Deeper stretch for the front of your left leg. Hold here. And release. Come back into all fours. Other side. So foot comes outside the hand. Again, if it comes halfway down, pick it up, bring it further forward. And then push your hips forward and down. And then come back into all fours. Tuck your toes under, lift your knees up. Back into your downward facing dog. Pedal your feet a few times. Then come forward into your plank pose. Place your knees onto the mat. Lower all the way onto your belly. Place your forearms onto the mat into Sphinx pose. So your elbows come forward until they're underneath the shoulders. Your forearms are parallel to each other. So just imagine your lovely Sphinx. And the Sphinx definitely doesn't collapse the shoulders. Sphinx sits tall. Hold here. Toes are pointed. Glutes are engaged, shoulders away from the ears. Then round your back, chin to chest, suck in your belly. Glutes are engaged. And then slowly lift the chest up so your belly button comes towards the mat. And you're going into a deeper back bend. And again, you're rounding the back, chin to chest. And come forward again. Round. And forward. Let's do one more each. Round your back, chin to chest. And then slowly come forward. And then lower down onto your belly, making a pillow with the left hand. Reach behind you with your right hand for your right foot. Try and have your knees not too far apart, so maybe hip distance. So you're getting hold of the foot. So first, press your foot into the hand so your heel stays away from your buttock. Holding here. Maybe you feel a stretch in the front of your leg already. If you have any knee problems, this may be enough, or you simply can be here. You're just trying to bring the heel towards your buttock. And then slowly start to bend your right elbow and your heel comes towards your buttock. If you're now starting to arch your back and sticking your bum up, press your bum down. Maybe you'd rather stay with the first variation where you press the foot into the hand. So you want to feel the stretch in the front of your right leg. Tailbone long, pubic bone is pressing down, holding here. And release. Hold your hips from side to side a few times. Switching sides. So reach behind you. You can rest your forehead on your hand. Yeah? And then press your left foot into your left hand. Press it away. Your left arm is straight. You're already starting to engage your glutes. Holding here. So stay with that, or for the next one you can release your hand and just using your muscles to bring the heel towards your glutes. It's a nice one for the hamstring muscles. I can just feel that. All right, or you start to bend your left elbow, pulling the heel down. Pay some attention. If you're starting to arch your back, sticking out your bum, press your pubic bone down, engage your glutes. So no arching, holding here. If you arch, bring the heel further away from your buttock. Hold here. Enjoy the stretch and release. Roll your hips from side to side a few times. And then take your hands, both of them, reach behind you. Your forehead is off the mat, chest is off the mat as well. Catch your feet and then bend your elbows sideways. Tailbone long, pubic bone pressing down as much as you can. Pull your heels towards your buttocks. Holding here. You can stay with that if you're not back bending, or you now start to lift your thighs up. Your arms are straightening and you're coming into a back bend. Hold here. Feel the stretch in your chest for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Release your legs. Make a pillow with your hands and roll your hips from side to side a few times. One more back bend here. Interlace your hands behind you. So arms are straight, hands interlaced. Lift your chest up. Press your palms towards each other. And then lift your hands up as well. If you want to make it harder, you lift your legs up. Hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Place your hands next to your chest. Press yourself up and come into a child's pose. Have your knees facing forward for this child's pose. Sit back on your heels. Make a pillow with your hands and fold forward and relax for a moment. Lift your head up. Come into a squatting position. So first you come into all fours and then take your right foot outside your right hand and your left foot outside your left hand. You may be up here, that's absolutely fine. Just slowly walk towards descending your hips down towards the mat. I'm going to turn around so you can see a little bit better. If your heels come off the mat, it may be because your feet are a little bit too close towards each other. Try maybe to bring your feet a bit wider and bring your hips down, holding here. Place your palms together. Press your elbows against the inner thighs. Sit upright. And then come into a seated position. Well done. Relax your legs. Shake them out a little bit. Then straighten out both of your legs. Take your right ankle. Place your right ankle over your left knee. So above the left knee rather. Flexing the foot. Take the hands behind you, leaning back, and then stand up your left foot. Now have your palms still flat on the mat with the fingers facing backwards. And then press your chest forward. So your chest comes towards your shin. Feel the stretch in your glutes here. Holding here. And then bend the elbows backwards. So go back a little bit. Bring your left foot further forward. So we're easing out of the pose just a little bit. Now start to lean over towards your right knee. And then you can sway from side to side a little bit. Give your glutes a massage. I quite like this one. Nice butt massage. And then slowly come up. Keep your ankle where it is. Straighten out your left leg. Sit up tall. If this is too much for the knee, you place the sole of the foot against the inner thigh. Holding here. Inhale and then exhale. Maybe you're starting to fold forward. If sitting upright is challenging enough, you stick with that. Hold here. You can try and flex your straight leg, or the foot of your straight leg rather. Holding here. And then slowly come back up. Repeat. Fold forward again. This time, if you want to make it harder, you take your right hand, you catch the outer edge of your left foot. If that doesn't work for you, you stay with that. However, if you do have the outer edge of your foot, take your left hand next to you, or slightly behind you, and then start to twist. So you're twisting over towards your left side. And then come back to the center. Slowly come up. Ouch. Take your right knee over your left. Ouch, in a good way. Inhale here and exhale, fold forward. Check in with your body. Where do you feel the stretch? I can feel it in my calves. Remember, you can have your leg relaxed if you prefer. Yeah. Don't have to go very deep. Definitely don't push yourself to your limits. Just move with ease and then slowly come up and release. Switching legs. Shake them out first and then place your left ankle above your right knee. Take your hands behind you. Stand up your right foot. Palms are pressing down, fingers facing backwards. And bring your chest towards your shin, holding here. Keep your foot flexed. So no twisting of the ankle. Hold here. Enjoy the glute stretch. And then bend your elbows slightly. Bring your right foot further forward. So you're not quite as deep in the stretch. And then lean over towards the left. And then wriggle around here a little bit. Give yourself a nice butt massage. And then slowly come up again. Now straighten out your right leg. Foot is flexed if possible. So remember the variation, sole of the foot is against the inner thigh. First you sit up right. You can stay here or maybe you fold forward, holding here. And then slowly come up again. Repeat. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, you take your left hand, you catch the outer edge of your right foot. The right hand goes next to you, a little bit behind you. You lengthen and you twist. You pull on the outer edge of your foot. So that's a stretch everywhere. It's a twist. It's a stretch for the shoulders, the calf, hamstrings, glutes. And then slowly come back and into seated position. Release your legs, shake them out. And then swing your legs over towards the right. So the sole of your left foot is on top of the right thigh. Yeah? All right. Take your right hand next to you. Left arm comes up. Sit up tall. Shoulders are relaxed. Take an inhale. Lengthen. On your exhale, you're leaning over towards your right. Spin your chest open slightly. Keep your shoulders relaxed, so both shoulders stay relaxed. Hold here. Reaching through your fingertips. Feel the side stretch. And then come up. Place your hand down. Now your right arm comes up. Lengthen inhale. On your exhale, you're reaching over to the side. Hold here. And then slowly take your right hand onto the mat next to your left hand. Walk your hands a little bit further away from you. Okay. Your right hip will come off the mat. That's fine. Around your back, bring your chin towards your chest, suck in your belly, and arch your back slightly. So looking forward. And again, you're rounding your back, chin to chest, and you're arching. One more. Round your back, chin to chest. Press your hands into the mat. And then looking forward. Come into a neutral position. Maybe walk your hands to the back a little bit more. So you get a deeper twist here. So your right hip will come off the mat. And then go a little bit deeper, holding here. Feel the twist. It's quite intense. All right, and then come to a level where you feel the twist, but It's very accessible. And then place your forearms onto the mat. Hold here for a moment and round your back, chin to chest, and arch again. And again, round and arch. One more, round and arch. So it's a micro arch really. Then come up onto your hands. Take your right arm up, so you're back in your side stretch. And then over to the other side. Shoulders are relaxed. Spin your chest open and release. Switch your legs. Sit up tall. The sole of your right foot is on top of your left thigh. Your left hand is next to you. Right arm comes up. Inhale and then exhale. Side stretch to your left. Spin your chest open slightly. Shoulders are relaxed away from the ear. And then slowly come up. Over to the other side. Side stretch. Holding here. Then look down. Place your left hand onto the mat next to the right. Walk your hands maybe a little bit further away from you. You can probably already feel it in your back, your lower back, in the middle back. I can feel it in my guts really, in my belly. Okay. Press the floor away from you. Take an inhale, looking forward, exhale, round your back, chin to chest. And again, you're arching, it's a micro arch, and you're rounding. A small movement, big effect. I will do a couple more here. And round the back, and then come back into a neutral position. You can stay here or walk your hands behind you a little bit. So your hip is off the mat, and that's fine. Maybe you want to feel the twist, you want to feel the squeeze. Squeeze is good. So go as deep as you can, holding here. And then maybe come back to an easier level to place the forearms down. So one forearm, other forearm. Again, very small movements. You're rounding the back, chin to chest. And you're lifting the chest for micro back bend. And you're rounding. And lifting. Round. And lift. Come up onto your hands. Take your left arm forward and up. You're back in your side stretch. And then one more time over to the other side. And then come back to the center. Right. I would like to do one core exercise with you, because I do think it's always a little bit neglected and you need a strong core to avoid back pain. For that, we'll come laying down on the mat. So first, have your feet flat on the mat, knees are bent, extend your arms forward, take an inhale. On your exhale, slowly start to round your lower back and lower down, vertebra for vertebra. If it's too much, get hold of your thighs and then you're down. Arms by your side. Bring your feet a little closer. Place your hands behind your head. Interlace your hands. Lift your head off the mat. Make your head heavy. If you're arching your back, slowly start your tailbone to tuck under until your lower back is on the mat. Gently. You're not lifting the hips up. You're still in a fairly neutral position, but you're not arching your back. Take an inhale here. On your exhale, you're lifting up. Not leading with the chin. You're using your core and lower down. So inhaling. On your exhale, you're lifting up and inhale, lower down to a hover. Exhale, come up and inhale, lower to hover. You keep going here. Keep going. Slow movements, controlled movements, using your muscles, not momentum. You're working with your abdominals, not with the muscles in your neck. So keep your head as heavy as you can. Keep your lower back down on the mat. Let's do 2 more here. 1 more. And release. Place your head down. Have your arms by your side. Extend your legs up towards the ceiling. What else are we going to do but cycling for the core muscles? So you're slowly lowering down your right leg. And then bending your right knee, bring your right knee into the chest. As you do that, your left leg lowers down. Now straighten out your right leg. So you have both of your legs straight at some point, and then you go. You can make this a smaller movement so your legs don't lower down too much. Or you have a very big bicycle. I don't think it works like that, does it? But you're taking your legs quite far down. If you wish, pay some attention to your lower back. Is your lower back arching? If that's the case, keep the little circles small. The other thing you can do is maybe take your hands and somehow place them underneath your bottom, and that helps a little bit. Okay. So do a few more in this direction, and then start to switch. So you're cycling backwards. Again, small movements if you prefer, or you can make it big. But in either case, don't race. It's not a race. And let's do a couple more here. And release. Hug your knees into your chest, roll from side to side. And then release your left hand down onto the mat next to you. Use your right hand. And bring your knees, they stay stacked on top of each other. Bring them over to the right side. Woo, foot twist. Hold here. Now open the palm of your left hand. Release your left shoulder down towards the mat. And then come up. Bring your knees towards your chest and bring them over to the other side. So knees stay on top of each other, and then you're lowering them down. Your right arm is next to you, palm facing upwards. And slowly come up. Place your feet flat on the mat. One more thing for the spine. Bring your heels as close towards your hips as you can. Arms are by your side. Tuck your tailbone under. Start to raise your lower back, middle back, upper back up. And then slowly lower down again, vertebra for vertebra. Keep your glutes engaged and then release completely until you feel the curve in your spine again and again. So tucking your tailbone under, raise your lower back, middle back, upper back up, and slowly lower down. And then keep going. So you're lifting and lowering. Move slowly. Feel your spine. It's a nice massage for the spine and really helps to keep your back mobile and happy. If you want to make it a little bit more intense, you can take your arms up next to your ears and then you're rolling up and down. Just noticing I'm going a little bit faster, go slower. Lifting and lowering, lifting and lowering. Let's do one more like this and lower. Next time you come up, we come into bridge pose. So slowly rolling up, up, up. Come as high as you can. Then take your arms next to you. You can stay here or you interlace your hands behind you. Press your feet down. Feet are parallel to each other. Your knees stay above your ankles, your glutes are engaged, and then maybe raise your hips a little bit higher. And you're wiggling your shoulders towards each other. Bring your chest towards your chin. Hold here. And as you come out, you first release your hands. Take your time, please. Then you release your shoulders and then slowly lower down all the way. Hug your knees into your chest, roll from side to side. Start to walk forwards and backwards until you are in a seated position. So cross-legged position. Interlace your hands behind you. Lift your chest up, fold forward, take your arms with you over your head. And slowly come up and release. Palms together. Well done. Thank you for joining me. Namaste. And remember to do your core workouts.